One race remains. Here we go for the season finale of IMSA in 2023, as Road Atlanta is expected to host one of the most incredible events in the series history. So here are all the details ahead of round 11 of the championship, Motul Petit Le Mans. It feels like yesterday when IMSA began the 2023 season at Daytona, and since then it's been a wild ride. And finally, we come to Road Atlanta to conclude this epic season of endurance racing. And what a classic event we will witness. Besides this being the finale, we will also see all 5 IMSA championships be decided, including the incredible GTP title fight that has 7 cars that can mathematically win the championship. Heading into Petit Le Mans, there are a few changes to the grid from the previous rounds. Since this is a Michelin endurance round, this means we will see the Ferrari 296 GT3 back on the grid, and same goes for Lamborghini's GT3 entry. Both manufacturers will race in GTD Pro, extending the grid size from 5 to 8 cars. Since this is a Michelin endurance round, teams will be adding on a third driver to their lineup. Examples of some of the drivers racing the weekend include Kevin Estra at Pfaff Motorsports, Scott McLaughlin at Tower Motorsports, Jenson Button at JDC Miller, Helio Castroneves back with MSR, Scott Dixon returning to Chip Ganassi Racing, and the 2023 Indy 500 champion Joseph Newgarden racing the number 7 Penske Porsche 963. Taking a look at the championship standings, in GTP, we have the number 31 Whelen Engineering Cadillac at the top with 2,460 points. Just behind is the number 10 Wayne Taylor Racing Acura, and they are just 3 points behind. The number 6 Porsche sits third with a 5-point gap, just proving how close the GTP title race is. In LMP2, the number 11 TDS Racing entry sits right at the top. They have a 20-point gap to the number 52 PR1 Matheson Motorsports entry. In LMP3's final appearance in the WeatherTech Championship, Riley Motorsports is looking to win this championship. The number 74 entry has a 244-point gap to the number 17 AWA entry. Vassar Sullivan Lexus continue to lead the team's championship in GTD Pro with the number 14 entry. However, Lexus still have opponents that can challenge them for this championship. Corvette, WeatherTech Racing, and Pfaff Motorsports still have a chance of taking the GTD Pro title. And finally, in GTD, Paul Miller Racing has arguably had the most dominant season out of any entry in 2023. They basically have this championship wrapped up. Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta will host the 26th edition of Petit Le Mans on October 14th. And this event has been a part of the endurance racing world since 1998. When a Ferrari 333 SP took victory ran by Doyle Reese Racing. The German manufacturer Audi has the record for the most victories here, a total of 9, achieved by the dominant Audi R8 and its successor, the Audi R10 TDI, when the race was ran under the American Le Mans Series banner. IMSA's last event here was won by Meyershank Racing and their Acura ARX 05, when the team took the final DPI victory in 2022. Located in Braselton, Georgia, Road Atlanta was opened on September 13th of the year 1970. This track is a purpose-built road course that is famous for corners such as the S's. The circuit has 12 corners that make up the 2.5-mile track. That's 4 kilometers for those using that format. The lap record still stands from 2008, when Christian Klein set a 107.0 in his Peugeot 908 HDI. Because of the duration of the event, this means we will have a day-to-night cycle, meaning we will have night racing returning to the WeatherTech Championship. And this could make the racing a lot more interesting. The reason I say that is because some of the cars might be able to race better in the cooler conditions at night. So just keep an eye out for a shift in performance with some of the entries during the day-to-night time cycle. Something else I wanted to mention is the balance of performance. There were some BOP tweaks to the GT category and the GTP class. Ferrari's 296 GT car was hit with a 20 kilogram increase, while the Lamborghini and Mercedes GT entries were hit with a 15 kilogram increase. Meanwhile, in GTP, Acura gets a small decrease in weight, and Porsche, BMW, and Cadillac all receive a 1 kilowatt increase of power. Let's talk about entries now, and it's quite the grid size for Petit Le Mans. But unfortunately, 2 teams had to pull out last minute, one of them being Kelly Moss Racing. Their Porsche will not be competing in the series finale in GTD. This was mainly because one of their drivers, Alan Metney, had to pull out because of a non-racing injury. I hope Alan makes a speedy recovery. Elsewhere, Sean Creek Motorsports has withdrawn their LMP3 entry. According to an article put out by Sportscar 365, Lance Wilsey is unable to participate because of a family emergency. This unfortunately led to the team pulling out of Petit Le Mans. The team is now focusing on their 2024 campaign, and since LMP3 is ending after the 2023 season in the WeatherTech Championship, Sean Creek Motorsports is moving over to LMP2. So the revised entry list now looks like this. 10 entries will compete in GTP, meanwhile 9 will be in LMP2, 7 will compete in LMP3, 8 cars will compete in GTD Pro, and finally 19 cars will participate in the GTD category. All these entries combine to create a massive 53-car grid for Petit Le Mans in 2023. So how long is this race, and when exactly does it take place? Well, the event at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta will last 10 hours long, non-stop racing throughout this entire period. Since this is a Michelin endurance round, this means it is the 3rd biggest endurance race on the IMSA calendar, just sitting behind the 12 Hours of Sebring and the Rolex 24. Qualifying for the event will happen on October 13th, from 3:15 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. local time. Then, the race itself will take place on October 14th, starting at 11:40 a.m. and lasting till 10 o'clock p.m. local time. For viewers in the United States, the race will be live on the Peacock streaming service and will be an NBC broadcast. And for the rest of the world, the race will be live on IMSA TV, and that will be an IMSA broadcast. So that concludes my race preview on IMSA's Petit Le Mans event at Road Atlanta. Are you excited for the 2023 finale of IMSA? Let me know all your thoughts on it down in the comments. Do you like endurance racing? Well, if you do, I highly suggest you subscribe. I produce content for you weekly on WEC and IMSA. And speaking of content, here are some videos you can watch right now. So thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.